Now let's take a look at career opportunities in the food service industry. 1 in 3 Americans gets their first job in the restaurant and food service industry. Millions of people then go on to have rewarding lifelong careers. And many of today's managers will go on to have a job tenure of 20 years or more in the food service industry. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that and what that means. I was just doing some calculations, and I've been in the food service industry for over 40 years. I started as a dishwasher, prep cook. I worked my way up to lead cook, restaurant chef, general manager, executive chef, a corporate president, and I'm now in education. So there's lots of options and career directions that you can take in food service. You don't have to be in a kitchen, and you don't have to deal with public. So whatever you prefer, there is a position for you somewhere. Most all of you will eventually have some job having to do with food service. Like I said, 1 in 3 Americans get their first job in the restaurant. Even if you don't become a professional in food service and you decide to go on to be a doctor or a lawyer or um, some other business person, or you study to become an educator, whatever you decide to do in your life, food service might be a part of it. So if you get nothing else from this program, you get help of how to survive when you're in college. Okay, let's begin. For organizational purposes, jobs in the restaurant and food service industry are divided into 2 categories: front of the house and back of the house. Back of the house, another word for that is heart of the house. That's something you hear. We call it heart of the house. We didn't like to be called back of the house. It made us sound like we were second-class citizens. But we like the heart of the house because, without us, there is no front of the house. Okay? We can exist without the front of the house. They can't really exist without us. So that's something to think about. Front of the house examples: banquet managers, dining room managers, maitre d's, cashiers, bar staff, serving staff, and bussers. Okay. Back of the house examples: line cooks, pastry chefs, crew, shift supervisors, bookkeepers, storeroom clerks, menu planners. In recent years, cooks and chefs have become more involved with their guests, especially through visits to the dining room and the kitchen. Kitchen tables that allow guests a closer view of the operation's inner workings have become more popular. Exhibition kitchens are also popular with diners. These kitchens become part of the dining experience, meaning the back of the house staff is more directly involved with guests in environments like these. The back of the house staff can benefit from customer service training, which is why we all get customer service training. Entry-level jobs. These jobs are an important starting point for all career pathways. Entry-level jobs usually lead to other positions with more responsibility that require more experience and specialized skills. The restaurant and food service industry offers many entry-level positions, and the industry as a whole is expected to generate more new jobs than any other service industry over the next decade. Other entry-level jobs include assistant cook, expediter, and dishwasher. It is easy to see why these jobs are important to an operation. Each role is important to the success of the business as a whole. The operation can only be as good as its team. The people in the front of the house jobs have a very large impact on how much guests like their dining experience. Friendly and positive interactions with guests are critically important to ensure that the guests will want to return. Servers, especially, must have an open and enthusiastic approach to talking to guests, as they are the people interacting with the guests the most. Bussers also play an important role, as their work reflects the operation's attention to detail, pace, and level of service. front of the house, guest first impressions, hosts and hostesses. Now, I've always stated that this is your first ambassador to your restaurant. This person needs to be smiling, attentive, not playing on a cell phone. I kid you not. Tell you a little story. My wife and I walked into Red Robin a few weeks ago, and we walked in the door, and the hostess was slumped down behind what could be the hostess podium in the foyer there, and she was not happy to be there. She didn't want to be there. It was obviously she didn't want to be there. There was no smile. There was a, all right, come on, I'll take you to your table. It was, and it really, I almost walked out. To be honest with you, I literally almost walked out. Excuse me, I'm sipping coffee as I'm doing this. You guys know me. Coffee. Well, some of you don't know me yet, but hosts and hostess also assist guests with coats and other items to be stored while eating in some restaurants. Fancier restaurants will have coat checks, etc., etc. They answer phones. They answer questions about the operation, hours, credit cards that are accepted, and what the menu's like. Okay? So they need to be, of all your employees, they need to be the most chipper, happy people you can have, I think. I personally think. But Cashiers process payments. Sometimes the cashier is combined with hostess, hostess, and they do the same thing. Host cashier, hostess cashier. They do dual role there. Servers check on guests throughout the dining experience, deliver the bill or check to the guests at the end of their meal. Also, usually take the orders. Okay. Quick service counters. The people at the counter there greet guests. They take the order. They process the payment, and they say thank you. Well, at least we hope they take thank you. Sometimes they don't, but they should. Oops, went too fast. Sorry. Bussers clean tables during meals and after the guests have eaten. Set tables for the new guests. Okay, so they can, and sometimes they'll bring beverages, waters. They will offer assistance. Excuse me, to the servers. I sometimes don't call them bussers. I call them server assistants or something along those lines. They don't care as long as they get paid. What you call them, really? Prep cooks. They help the more experienced cooks and chefs to prepare orders. They portion out food, they pre-cook food, they prepare ingredients ahead of time. They do a lot of cutting, chopping. This is where your knife skills come in handy. As a prep cook, you do a lot of the cutting and chopping so that the chef is ready to go. Okay, and the chef can take it from there. So that's why you need to really learn your knife skills effectively. Dishwashers. One of the most important jobs in an establishment. And I have to say, looking back on it, probably one of the easiest and more fun jobs that I ever had, because it was stress free. My job was to get the dishes clean, and that was pretty much it. And I know that some of my students tend to like to hide out at the dish machine and try to be low stress there and not get involved with the kitchen lab activities. It's a little bit more confusing for them. And that's good. I mean, I don't mind. I let that happen occasionally, but you're here to learn, and you're here to get through that frustration and confusion about, oh my God, what do I do? And how do I do it? So keep that in mind. We will get you out of the dish pit, but you will also be in the dish pit. Okay. So dishwashers clean and sanitize dishes, utensils, and cooking equipment. They replenish service areas to ensure staff has what it needs to serve the guests. Although the back of the house positions do not typically have any guest contact, they are still important when it comes to guest satisfaction. Of course, the food that the prep cooks help to create makes a major impression on guests. A dishwasher's work is equally visible. Clean plates and utensils are essential for the guest to eat safely and comfortably. Jobs in food service can be varied and unique. Through entry-level positions and continued education, successful career pathways can lead you to higher-level jobs. Such jobs include positions in operation management, financial management, human resource management, culinary and nutrition management, research and development, marketing, and many, many other areas. A career is a profession or work in a particular field that an individual chooses for themselves. People advance in their careers by mastering the skills needed for their jobs and by showing that they are qualified to take on new responsibilities. Training and experience are important, but employers are also looking for certain skills. Students can develop some of these while they are still in school. And that's why we're here. Okay, for you guys to develop the skills you need to get started. Training and additional education can help motivate individuals move through career pathways. So if you become motivated, you can actually move through a career pathway moving up. And that's what it's all about. Okay, nobody wants to stay a prep cook or a dishwasher all their life. Well, never mind. So you want to move up to becoming that supervisor, that chef. You want to move up because it also means more money, right? So, these are things that you want to do. A career pathway is a series of jobs through which people can advance to further their careers. Dishwasher, prep cook, line cook, dinner cook, shift supervisor, sous chef, executive chef, general manager. All these jobs, working up the chain of command on the career pathway. Career pathway skills become more complex as individuals progress from beginner to intermediate to advanced for each stage of their career. Communication and teamwork. The ability to communicate effectively is important for virtually any job. Communication skills include writing, speaking, reading, and listening. Understanding and following directions are also important. Employees, especially in the restaurant and food service industry, must be team players. Doing their share of the workload, sometimes employees also must be willing to do more than their share of work for a team, if that is what it takes to get the job done. Maintaining a positive attitude is a key attribute for an employee. Employers, customers, and coworkers value a person who is enthusiastic and optimistic. The challenge is keeping this attitude even when things are going wrong, which never happens in food service, right? Wrong. It happens a lot. Learning new information and new ways of doing things is important to career success. Employees who advance are the ones who are willing to learn new skills and techniques and not think that the way they know it is the only way to do something. You always want to stay flexible. I'm going to give you the way that I learned, the way that I found that I like to do something. Some other chef you're going to work with, maybe Chef Greenspan, who's here with us, maybe Chef Jay, who is a mentor to our kids in our program and hires our students, is going to give you another method. And you're going to combine those and you're going to come up with your method. And your method is what you need to have. So stay flexible in your learning. That's utmost important. Technology is critical to success. Most jobs today require basic knowledge of computers. Computer skills are also valuable in the restaurant and food service industry. For example, in many restaurants, servers place orders on computers. Cashiers and counter servers in quick service operations use computerized cash registers. And we have here our point of sale system. So it's all based on technology as well. Some of the kitchen equipment is becoming more highly technical. So technology and the use of technology is the utmost importance in the culinary field, food service fields, as in other fields as well. Math skills are also essential. Even though computers may be used, for example, servers and bartenders often work with tip percentages. Ordering products also require a strong sense of prices, quantities, and discounts. Back of the house positions count, weigh, and measure items. frequently in addition to calculating yields, converting recipes, all skills that you guys are going to learn the basics of in this program. Critical thinking and problem solving are also important skills to develop. Employers value employees who can think of fresh solutions to problems and who can think for themselves. Number one, most important, is to be able to think for themselves. Knowing how to use basic tools and equipment is essential to working in a kitchen. To progress in the restaurant or food service career, employees should seek to broaden the number of techniques and processes they learn to perform. This helps to increase their versatility and makes them more likely to advance. And I have to tell you guys, with experience, and I'm just looking at how I came up through my career. And the more I practiced my skills, the more I practiced my knife skills, the more I did these things, the better I became, and the more my bosses saw that I had become better, and they promoted me. They moved me up the chain. My communication skills, my techniques, how I interacted with people has a lot to do with it, because if you want to go up the ladder, then you start, instead of just being bottom rung prep cook, you start being a cook, which means you're maybe over the top of the prep cooks. Well, how you treat people and how you interact with those people, your bosses see that and they notice whether that's good or bad. Another example I want to tell you is one of our former students who graduated last year is working for Jay at BJ's Barbecue. Now, Jay hires my students at minimum wage, and then it's up to you what you do with it. If you want to stay at minimum wage and not work there very long, don't take the job seriously. He's okay. He's had students that have worked there a week, 2 weeks, a day, because they just didn't want to take it seriously. And he's had students like Tiffany, who's running his back kitchen right now. She's 18 years old, and she's bossing around not only the owner's son, actually he pretty much manages the swing shift, but she's not, and I want to say bossing around, not really bossing around, but she's in charge of the shift. And he comes to her and says, what needs to be done? And when the owner comes to you and says, what needs to be done, you know you've got something going. Oh, and by the way, she's not making minimum wage anymore either. Food safety knowledge. You must keep food safe. No matter how busy a shift might be, knowing how and why to keep food safe will ensure customers never get sick from the food served. Food safety knowledge is fundamental to every operation in the industry. And it's something that you've done the food handler. It's where we start. And, you just did it. And that's something that I'm going to expect you to take to heart and to do on a daily basis. And to talk to your fellow classmates if they're not. Hey, you're not doing that right. Okay? So, especially in this day and age, needs to be the utmost important on everybody's mind. Servers who know details about menu items better meet their customers' needs in the back of the house. This knowledge helps produce high quality food consistently. It can also help keep guests with food allergies safe. As individuals progress through a restaurant and food service career, they learn skills from all areas of the restaurant. They might be involved in every step of the flow of food through the operation, from writing specifications for what food they want to buy to delivering chicken parmesan to a table. Successful restaurant managers assist in all areas of the restaurant operations. Managers are responsible for all areas of the restaurant environment. Sometimes that means taking a drink order or helping the kitchen get through a lunch rush. The environment a manager creates is just as important for the customer as it is for the employee. Good managers jump in and help. They lead by example. They don't stand there and go, you need to do this. They get in there and they help. So if you want to be a good manager, you learn those skills. As a manager, you wash dishes, you wash tables, you clean tables, you bus tables, you serve. As a manager, I served, I bussed tables, I never took a tip. I gave it all to my bussers or my servers. If I was bussing, they didn't have to tip me. If I was serving the table and I had a busser, he got all the tips from the table. I never took anything. I bartended, I ran cocktails, I washed dishes, you know, wherever I can jump in to help. And that's what you need to keep in mind. And if you show that to an employer and they see you're motivated to jump in, not just at your job, but anybody's job, that's a great way to move up a lot quicker. No matter what career you intend to pursue, you can do many things to help develop your skills. Make a commitment to put forth your best effort in all that you do. Work part-time in the industry while in school to gain experience. Take on challenges in school and work to learn new skills. Be active in school, clubs, and activities. Volunteer time in the community. For example, you can help in local soup kitchens, nursing homes, or at the food bank. Take some time to research, read, and learn on your own. Get access to a computer if you can. Become familiar with the basic computer functions and software programs, including word processing and spreadsheets. Yeah, you need to become more familiar than TikTok and Snapchat and all those others. You need to actually know what they were originally intended for. You need to understand presentation software and effective internet searching. Take advantage of every opportunity to improve learning and work habits while you are still in school and working part-time. The more you practice these habits now, the further you will be able to advance in your career. Begin to look for someone whom you can call a mentor. A mentor is someone who can play the role of a wise advisor to help guide you along your career path. Ideally, this person will be a mature individual with an established career of his or her own. Mentors can be either personal or professional. Personal mentors are individuals who are focused on your personal fulfillment and supportive of your professional growth. Professional mentors are individuals whom you typically work with and who are focused on your professional growth and supportive of your personal growth. A mentor should be available to offer insights, coach, be a sounding board, and provide feedback on a career development plans and progress. Along with identifying a mentor who can help with your personal and professional development, also develop a strong relationship with one of your current supervisors. The more a supervisor understands your goals and desires to learn new skills, the more likely it is that you'll get opportunities to grow. Now that you have an understanding of the entry-level positions into the restaurant and food service industry, it's time to look at some of the long-term career opportunities that are available. There's a tremendous variety of career opportunities available in the industry that go beyond the four walls of a restaurant business. A few examples that you might consider exploring include facilities and engineering, marketing and sales, accounting and financial management, human resources, distribution. There's lots of different areas that qualify in here. Owners, operators, and entrepreneurs own and run their own businesses. Successful entrepreneurs must dedicate themselves to their businesses. They need to be well organized and committed to working long hours in addition to having a strong general knowledge of business practices. Entrepreneurs are usually risk takers who work very well without supervision. District managers are responsible for multiple operations in a particular region. They work closely with both offices and the restaurant's general managers to ensure that operations are running correctly. They need solid leadership skills and show an ability to make complex decisions quickly. General managers are responsible for the overall planning, direction, and coordination of the operation. They are responsible for hiring, promoting, and terminating employees. They leave the day-to-day management of various functions to the managers who report back to them. Managers. Managers do everything listed on this slide, as well as many other functions. The responsibilities are divided: hiring and supervising, staff training, maintaining the operation, food safety, guest and employee safety, marketing and promotions, ensuring profits, keeping costs down, purchasing and storing foods, cooking, doing dishes, waiting tables, cleaning the restaurant, cleaning the bathroom. Any job known to man in that restaurant, managers do. Assistant managers are responsible for helping the managers, right? Assistant manager, get it? This is the usual training position for future managers. Assistant managers are also typically assigned focus areas such as catering, beverage, kitchen, housekeeping, and dining room operations. Executive chefs are a part of the operations management team. Executive chefs oversee the entire kitchen, from supervising all kitchen employees to purchasing food supplies and making decisions about menu items. Sous chefs are responsible for the kitchen team in the executive chef's absence and also lend their cooking expertise to overall food production. Banquet chefs are responsible for catered parties, functions, and banquets. Banquet chefs usually work in lodging, operations, and clubs. They work closely with the catering department in an operation. Pastry chefs are responsible for pastries and baking production in an operation. Most pastry chefs work in hotels, fine dining restaurants, and restaurants with high volume of customers. Station cooks can be responsible for a variety of areas within a kitchen. The pantry cook, or garde manger, is responsible for food, cold food, and buffet arrangements. The roast cook prepares meats, poultry, and fish. The sauce and stock cook prepares stocks and sauces. The vegetable cook prepares vegetables and soups, and the pastry cook prepares desserts and specialty baked goods. Employees of the restaurant and food service industry, especially those just starting out, often work long hours in physically and mentally demanding jobs. It can seem overwhelming at first, but one of the best things to remember about this industry is that it will reward good efforts. Some of the most successful CEOs and owners in the world started as dishwashers. Some of the most famous chefs did as well. The most important thing employees can do to ensure that they advance in a restaurant and food service career is to take care of their bodies and minds. Staying healthy is the key to building skills, gaining experience, and achieving success. Eating healthy helps you avoid disease and maintain a high energy level. Exercise is good for your body and will often lead to more energy. Be as active as possible. Take the stairs when you get to work. Even 5 extra minutes of walking adds to an overall daily exercise amount. Because this type of work can be demanding, it is important to give yourself a break. In order to prevent burnout, find an activity outside of work, such as a recreational sport, team, or hobby. A balance between work and a personal life is key to ensure that your passion for the job leads to a long career path. Many companies offer resources like recreational sports teams or company outings to allow employees to relax and recharge. Some companies also offer health and wellness programs, including gym memberships. Use the vacation time you receive to take breaks as well. Restaurants are famous, fast-paced, and some people can struggle with that type of demanding environment. Using cigarettes, drugs, and alcohol as a way to cope can lead to lifelong problems. These substances can ruin careers and lives. Safe choices is the best plan for maintaining your health. As you gain experience and even more responsibility in your career, you will receive opportunities for jobs with greater pay. This will allow you the chance to save for large expenses and could also help you take advantage of later opportunities. Are you happiest providing the highest level of service you can? Do you want to build kitchens or design menus? Do you want to create the latest cuisine? Pursue what you like and choose a work culture that fits your personality. Ever feel like you do not have enough time in the day to do something or everything that you want to do while also doing the things that you need to do? If so, you're not alone. Most people want a life that balances work or school and home. Stress is a condition or feeling that demands exceed the resources available. One of the key resources a person has is time, which represents what he or she can accomplish in a given period of time. Far too often, people feel intense daily pressures. Although most people can feel overwhelmed at times, tools are available to help them manage both their time and stress. Two critical areas needed for building a career are stress management and time management. Stress may be caused by factors such as time pressures, grades, and desire to get into college, and relationships with friends, parents, and teachers. It might also be due to the loss of a family member, a breakup, constant changes, or a failure to accept what cannot be changed. Workplace challenges such as a lack of planning or poor communication also can contribute to stress levels. In this day and age, COVID-19 has been causing stress to some students. Stress management is a process people use to identify what causes stress for them in the workplace as well as in their personal lives. Once a source of stress is identified, various strategies can be applied to minimize its effects. Time management uses tools to increase a person's efficiency and productivity. To manage time effectively also means to know how to waste less time on unimportant activities and avoidable problems. The skills needed for effective time management include planning, documentation, or documenting what needs to happen during a certain period of time, daily, monthly, yearly, goal setting, always set a timeline for completing a task, setting priorities, identify the importance of tasks, and then choose their order of completion, delegating, as a leader, assign tasks to someone else and ensure their completion. Even those who have good intentions at the beginning of the day and write down the day's plan might encounter other things that can get in the way. Being aware of all the things you do during a day can result in better planning, decision making, delegating, and goal setting. Consider leaving a small percentage of time during the day for unexpected tasks or events. That way, an entire day's plan will not be thrown off track if a surprise happens, and it will. Part of self-development is being involved in the industry's current conversations. Look for opportunities that help you understand how the industry is changing. You can use this knowledge to help you grow your skills and adapt to new trends and ideas. Some possible opportunities include industry publications and online groups. You can keep track of the latest news via web-based publications such as the National Restaurant News and Restaurant Business. I subscribe to those. I have the magazines out on the counter, and I can get you guys hooked up and forward some newsletters to you, but only if you're interested. Professional organizations. Members in the organizations often come across access to research, newsletters, education conferences, and workshops. The National Restaurant Association and the American Culinary Federation are examples of professional organizations. As juniors and seniors here, you become automatic members of the American Culinary Federation, and you're entitled to all their newsletters and information as a member. Certifications. A certification shows that a person has demonstrated a high level of skill and has met specific performance requirements, often through an examination. Certifications are usually administered through professional organizations. Some certifications are highly desired by employers. Certification examples include the CertSafe Food Protection Manager, certifications like the Certified Executive Chef that I am, Certified Hospitality Executive through the American Hotel Lodging Association, Certified Fundamental Cook, which is a certification that you guys will get when you're seniors, Certified Fundamental Pastry Cook, which is a certification you can also get here through the American Culinary Federation. Continuing education. Community colleges and universities frequently offer classes for working professionals to stay current in skills. Some conferences also feature education sessions for this purpose. Networking. The purpose of networking is to connect with several people to build relationships that may result in career advancement, industry updates, and greater knowledge and skill. Networking also promotes important dialogue among industry professionals, which in some cases promotes changes that serve to improve the industry overall. One method of networking is to attend industry-focused conferences and trade shows, where you could talk with and learn from other attendees. Most of these events offer educational sessions and social events where you can meet people, as well as exhibit booths where vendors explain their products. Other methods for networking include participating in community events and sharing information about the organization, attending state and local restaurant association meetings and social events, participating in community career days, forums, charity events, and service projects, volunteering as a community mentor and getting to know key community leaders, visiting area competitors and other businesses to establish rapport and assess business opportunities. An important factor to remember about networking relationships is that they must be a two-way street. A professional does not expect his or her network to always provide information, contacts, or opportunities. Each member must participate and offer opportunities in a network as well. That wraps up this presentation. I wanted to follow up with networking. I always tell the story that I am your teacher here because of networking and the fact that I learned from the last teacher and I worked with the last teacher and I worked with his students. And so when he was moving on to something else, he said, I want you to come teach. And I did. And we're here today. Thank you very much, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.